Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and we are specifically going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons commentators who are the most useful to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Dungeon Masters and Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition players who, and these Dungeons & Dragons commentators have a subscription count between 10,000 and 100,000. This group, we're going to talk about 5 creators today. This group take the 6 through 10 slot as far as being out of the top 10, as far as being the most useful to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Dungeon Masters and Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition players. Let's get into it. Let's look at this list. So I have a mnemonic, Bob Kenrick, okay, Runelair Draven. All right, Bob Kenrick, Runelair Draven. Let's kick it off. Bob World Builder. This dude, he has a really fun channel. I think one of the best words to describe his channel is delightful. I think, and you know, there is a theme. I love people who attach joy to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and Bob World Builder is definitely one of those people. He does some really fun content. He's done some content where he what's it like to walk 20 miles in a day, which is how much you can, 24 miles in a day, which is how much you can walk in a day according to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Well, let's do encumbrance, right? Just really wonderful, delightful content. Very nice. Now, one thing, it is really funny, because we do, I'm a Dungeons & Dragons commentator, commentating on Dungeons & Dragons commentating, right? So I'm going to comment, one, I think Bob World Builder's content is fantastic. He did a, here's every book in Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. These are the ones you should get. These are the ones you should know. It was so good, and I loved it. It was really, really fantastic, right? But one of the things I think is really interesting about Dungeons & Dragons commentary is people were I think a lot of people are oh, it's the content that matters. People, they engage with the thing and they're keep it simple. Whatever they're saying is what matters. Delivery matters. How you say what you say very much matters, right? You can have the best content in the world, but if you're not delivering it in a engaging, shocking, humorous manner, it kind of doesn't matter if you have the best content because people aren't going to listen, right? So today, good content, good message, good narrative, right? They all need to be mixed in with good delivery, great delivery. Delivery matters. It really, really matters, right? And Bob World Builder, he's very low-key and very I feel like he would live in a commune if he had been born in 1950s and was 20 an adult in the 70s. He would have been hey man, you want to join our commune? He's just very let happen whatever's going to happen, man. He's got a very I would have lived in a commune vibe, right? And his voice is very light, and it's just it almost feels like ASMR to me, so I think his content would be higher. And it's really strange because you want to tell people be yourself, but he has content that's so good that I think he should work on figuring out some way to get people to listen to him, because his voice is so ASMR, and honestly, a lot of people are oh, leave it alone. Who cares if he has a small sub count? I'm his content deserves way over 100,000 subs. And he's not over 100,000 subs. And I think one of the reasons why is people are falling asleep when they're listening to him, right? And I'm not sure he's aware of it or, whatever. And the other thing is, a lot of people today are Scott, just engage with the thing. All the meta around it doesn't matter. And you're so wrong. You do the thing, but you got to worry about a whole bunch of stuff other than that, right? And so I actually think Bob World Builder's content should he should easily have over 100,000 subs, but I'm not sure he's aware he's making people sleep when he talks. I don't know. It's weird. And honestly, I think he should change his delivery to get more subs. That's just my take. All right. So Bob World Builder, great channel. Love it, right? I think he deserves more subs than he's got, right? Okay. Next, Todd Kenrick. Let's talk about Todd Kenrick. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about Todd Kenrick. So Todd Kenreck will always be the D&D Beyond dude who did the vast majority and by far the best interviews and content, online content, that Dungeons & Dragons ever had, right? He's the best person about talking about Dungeons & Dragons that was hired by Dungeons & Dragons. He wasn't even on he wasn't even on Wizards of the Coast. He outpaced everyone at Wizards of the Coast for covering their own content. He did interviews with Matthew Mercer. He had interviews with the actual people, who wrote, and he was just fantastic at it, right? So he actually worked on D&D Beyond. That was his actual job, but he was spectacular at being a person in the industry who actually covered Dungeons & Dragons, and he was so good at the online content. They had no one like him when he worked there, when he worked at D&D Beyond, and they were really using him almost as outsourced, TV production. It was crazy, right? He did such a great job, and they have not replaced him since, right? Whatever nonsense they're putting up now, both on D&D Beyond and on Wizards of the Coast. First of all, I can't believe how bad Wizards of the Coast and D&D Beyond are at actually advertising their own product and doing good, engaging online content. Todd Kenreck was the best of it. He worked for them. He worked for D&D Beyond, but it seemed like he had so much access, it seemed like he worked directly for Wizards of the Coast, even though he didn't. They've never replaced him at just doing great content. He was just spectacular at it. And then something went south. We don't even know what. It's a big Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition mystery. Something went south, and he had to leave D&D Beyond. He wept. I'm not like Jesus wept. That's a verse in the Bible, right? Todd Kenreck wept. That's a verse in IRL, right? He cried when he left, right? Now, why do I care about that? Because I care so much about Dungeons & Dragons. And when people are weeping on screen, there's something behind it, right? And I want to know it. It's a Dungeons & Dragons mystery. I'm hoping that within my lifetime, I will read some academics, postdoctoral book, a book based on their postdoctoral thesis about Dungeons & Dragons. You think that's a joke? It's not. People write, postdoctoral theses about Dungeons & Dragons because Dungeons & Dragons matters and your D&D not game doesn't, right? And we will get to know why Todd Kenreck wept on screen, right? It was an event in 2021, right? Todd Kenreck loses job, weeps on screen, D&D mystery born. We don't know what it is. I want to know it. It's the whole thing, right? All right. The other thing is, I actually think it's really good for men to weep in public. I know a lot of people are going to give me flack in the down below, but I got 2 girls and 2 sons, right? And you know what? It's time that men wept in public, right? This is the thing. We're not killing our food anymore. We go to the grocery store, can men weep in public? Thank you very much, Todd Kenreck. I think it's helpful for culture. I think it's helpful for society. And it proves my point that Dungeons & Dragons actually impacts society at a very fundamental level, right? And so Todd Kenreck weeping openly, on camera, right, is a thing. It was definitely a thing, right? And D&D really does matter in real life, right? Love Todd Kenreck. Great guy. He has his own channel now, and that's what's making it right here. And he's got less than 100,000 subs, which means there's 10 people, right, who have not. Todd Kenreck has forgotten more about shooting good Dungeons & Dragons online commentary than everyone who has over 100,000 subs ever knew, right? And the guy's got less than 100,000 subs because he's building from zero because he got canned, right? So and we don't know why, and I don't even know if he got canned. He might have just had to quit. I don't even. It's a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition mystery, Candlekeep mystery, Dungeons & Dragons 5e mystery. Why did Kate Welch go? Dungeons & Dragons 5e mystery. Monty Cook, why did he quit? Dungeons & Dragons, why did he quit when they were building Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition mystery. I have a whole list of them. It's crazy. All right, let's keep targeted here. All right, Bob Kenreck. Runelair Draven. All right, Runehammer Games. Brandish Gilmhelm. Ingrid Bernal, right? Hankerin Farinale. All 3 names are for the same person. This dude is a walking enigma. I am absolutely fascinated with him. He has a brilliant live stream. He does a lot of, he's been doing Dungeons and Dragons commentary for years. Most of it's wrapped in Index Card RPG commentary, but Index Card RPG is the best redux in the world of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, okay? And it's brilliant, and let's say Ingrid Bernal, that's the name I'm going to use. He is brilliant, but an absolute enigma. He's really fascinating because he is, in my opinion, the best tabletop role-playing game designer alive today, right? When it comes to rules, right? That he knows how. He's the Steve Jobs of Dungeons and Dragons. He's the Steve Jobs of tabletop role-playing game design. Okay, what he can do is, and I use his system to run everything that's not Dungeons and Dragons. Index Card RPG, I run a lot of it. It delivers. It runs lightning fast, lightning smooth. You can have players actually learn it in 15 minutes, and you could have them create player characters in 15 minutes. Tons of tabletop role-playing games claim this and never accomplish it. Index Card RPG is the only game on the planet that claims it and accomplishes it. I have met Ingrid Bernal in person in Philadelphia. I bought one of his paintings from him. I was very blessed to do so. He is just the most fascinating dude, one of the most fascinating dudes on the planet. He is a very unusual, weird soul. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so my oldest daughter, brilliant girl, and she's a year out of college, right? We had this problem with her when she was growing up, where she was simultaneously a brilliant artist and simultaneous a brilliant mathematician. Okay, here's what happened. Like from the time she was 8 until the time she graduated from college, she would do a doodle, and everybody would go, "Oh, clap, 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 clap! So wonderful! Oh, applaud, applaud, applaud! You need to be a professional artist." Right? And then she would solve the most arcane mathematical theorem. Nobody knew, nobody cared, right? And so there was a huge amount of pressure for her to be another artist, right? Now the issue is she's female, right? So STEM, right? Half the STEM teams in the world are packed with dudes, have ratios of 80 to 90% male or higher, sometimes 100%. They all want diversity. They all want a different view. They all want to add females to the teams. And like, it's all over. Like, it's just so of course I wanted my daughter to be a STEM, or like a STEM female, because they write their own tickets today. Like, it's a thing, right? And tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below. If I'm misunderstanding this, please tell me, but this is our experience, right? And so I kept my mouth shut, and I did not say you have to become a STEM girl, right? Like, because they're rare as hen's teeth, and female artists are not rare as hen's teeth, right? Like it's do you want to write your own ticket or not? So I just kept my mouth shut because she had to live with the decision, and I didn't want to put my thumb on the scale, right? She made the right choice, and she is a STEM girl today, and she's on a team, and she does great, and she does her art as well, but that is secondary, and she had to make a choice. Ingrid Bernal is exactly the same. Dude is an outrageously talented artist, and at the same time, he's one of the best tabletop role-playing game rules designers in the world, right? But he's got to decide, does he draw the art for his books, or does he work on being, at this point, he's done so many products, right, which I've bought every single one he's ever made, that he has to decide, do I do the design work, do I do lead work on projects, or do I draw this thing, right? Very, very unusual. He's one of these humans that has so much talent crammed into him. You're like, how did God fit all this talent into one person? It's crazy. So if you don't know about Runehammer Games, get thine self to Runehammer Games. Anywhere where they sell their stuff, every dollar you spend you're going to get value 3 times back, right? He's brilliant, and anything you buy, you're going to be like, I bought it all. I have Bearcats. I have Xeno. He had a Xeno game. I have Relics of the Stone. I have every ICB-RPG game ever printed. I have Blood and Snow. Like, everything he makes is a brilliant, shining gem, right? Age of Snakes, everything. Like, he's just amazing, right? And his commentary is almost all live, and he has this super weird energy that nobody in the business has. All right, okay. Lair. DM's Lair. Really fun, wonderful, bearded dude who just crushes it. And he's another one of these guys that does a live stream. His stuff is amazing. He's one of the best at turning on his camera and talking live to Dungeons and Dragons fans all over the world who just talk with him. His love of the game is super, super clear. He engages with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition right where it lives. He's very tactical. He knows the tactical, but he also is highly aware of the philosophy. Brilliant, brilliant creator. DM's Lair. Check his stuff out. He's awesome. Draven Swiftbow, okay? He's the last on the top 10 list of Dungeons & Dragons creators who have subcounts between 10,000 and 100,000, okay? Who are most useful to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition DMs and players. Get this. I don't like how he does anything on his channel. I think he's very blah, except for two things, right? Timeliness and coverage, right? Timely. When a new book drops, he's on it. He does content, right? Also, coverage. If a major thing, if a book drops, he covers it, and you can go there and get good reviews from his content. What I use him for is quantity. I don't use him for quality. I think he's one of the lowest quality commentators out there. But when I get really on a book like Strixhaven, I probably watched 20 reviews for Strixhaven, right? And when I want numbers on a thing, he's always there. I know he's going to have, if a new book drops, he's going to have content there. He's going to have it in a timely manner, and he's going to cover the things I want. Coverage is not a small thing. When you're doing Dungeons & Dragons commentary, do you cover the right stuff? And I know you guys, I think this will surprise you. I can't even get to half the ideas of the things I want to cover. I can't even talk about, I keep a list. Hey, I'm going to talk about this, right? The list is, I'll never cover everything. I have way more ideas to talk about with Dungeons & Dragons than I have time to talk about them. I know that might be shocking. Like, sometimes you're like, did this make your list, Scott? Like this thing you're talking about now? Yes. One of the reasons why I cover some things right now is I actually will shove something to the top because it's timely, or because it covers an event that's happening in Dungeons & Dragons. And books are events. New books are events. And Draven Swiftbow is there. He treats it in a timely manner, and he covers everything that matters. And I don't dismiss coverage. Coverage is a really big deal. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this list. Would you put anything else in order? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.